bit early.
Hi, Wolf. I just feel like Christmas. Come on. We're just...
This week is not Christmas. This is the Grinch week. This week, Dave.
Wolf, it's Christmas.
Oh no!
Dave,
No, it doesn't feel like Christmas this week. I tell you.
I was in the shopping center and there's Christmas. There's like it's fantastic. There's Christmas. Every Santa's here already. He's arrived even before the Christmas rally. He's running around the shopping center. He's
obviously stick around for another month, please.
Yeah, I still wasn't putting the kids on his lap. Obviously, he's worried about COVID. But I mean, he's like it's all happening, Wolf.
It is. But look, it's one of those weeks. Hopefully, we'll get a bit of a Santa cheer in December.
Yeah, I think hopefully we will, but maybe not for another few weeks. But now, Wolf,
yes.
I'll tell you who is having an early Christmas. The CEO of PRO. Now we've had this on. So let's tell the story about this one. Yep. Originally, guys, buy it. We liked it. We liked the breakout. Target 80, target 120. Great report. Now it's at 166. And if it looked like that at the end of trade today, I'd be buying it still.
Look, the thing is, you were questioning yourself at the beginning, Dave, and I had to, slap you around a bit, put you straight, and ask you, forget about everything I taught you. Would you buy this at the end of the week? And then you cleared your mind. You went, namaste. Yes, you would buy that.
Of course, you buy that sort of price action. Now,
exactly.
Right now, Wolf. Also, we had a little look at the market cap. Isn't too crazy, right?
No, it isn't. It isn't for the company that it can potentially grow to, right? So you've got to look at what's happened with the company. So we know when we first started trading it, we looked at the company and said, yeah, this little Emite and Snare looks decent. There could be some growth in there. So we thought, we took it from 50 something cents to 80 cents. Then we took it to $1.20. Took some profits, probably maybe some of you already out. But if you are out, time to get back in. If you're still in it, fantastic. You're still having a run. But now we sort of reassess, where can this go from here? So reading through Emite again, today's update, you think to yourself, wow, the possibilities could be a bit bigger than we actually thought at the beginning, right? We're thinking this could double from here still. So Dave, reassessing, we're going for it again. Also, I did see an article in, I think the AFR talking about, or maybe it wasn't maybe either AFR or Livewire talking about Pro, and one of the funds really loves Pro and thinking that can go to the moon. So there's a little bit of, I suppose, love from a fund out there. So it could give you a little bit more of support to be comfortable buying this even at these prices.
Okay, so if you're buying today, 166, you've got a stop loss anywhere at 145, right? Which is a natural stop, which is, funny enough, Wolf, and this is what we're looking at here. You've got a high back 3 weeks ago at 137, which maybe supports. So, you know what? I think. I think we'll do that. We'll leave it at 145, the stop, by the end of the week. It's a weekly stop. It's a weekly chart. So by the end of the week, okay. And it's a buy. Now, the question is, if you want to be a little bit more conservative with it, you could wait till closer towards the close today. It might be a bit of profit taking.
Yep.
You might get a cheaper 166. You might get a little bit 150 or 155. We'll see. But looking very, very good, Wolf. So definitely a trade there.
Yeah, look, I think it's going to be volatile. I mean, the price has been jumping around, right? It hasn't been a smooth ride. It's gone from 40 to 80 to a 20, then down to $1. Now it's $1.60. So there might be pullbacks along the way. So yeah, look, you can be patient. But if you are going to buy it, this is the thing. I think it's not going to happen overnight. We're thinking it's going to go to, say, first target $2. So you've got to be patient with it and give yourself at least 12 months.
Right, Wolf. Select Harvest.
Yep.
Put an announcement out today. It's sort of bouncing back a little bit. Now, we're not buying this because we spoke about this the other day when we had a meeting with the Royals. You've got an issue. You're a little bit worried about agricultural stocks because of El Nino, correct?
Yeah, look, the thing is, it's just they cannot take a trick, can they? The agri stocks. Well, they can. They can do quite well, but going from the sublime to the ridiculous. So from droughts to floods. There's just nothing in between for the poor farmers out there. So they were cheering, going, "Yeah, best conditions we've ever had," and then no, it's going to be bloody flooding. So it's just such a difficult space, isn't it? Climate, you cannot predict it. You just don't know where it's going to go next. So you just got to be careful. If you're going to be trending them, trend them, but trend them on I suppose, a fairly tight rein or leash. Fundamentally, of course, they're going to be okay, but they are going to have their ups and downs, as we've seen with SHV. We've seen it with some of the other stocks, and you can never get comfortable with these stocks. You cannot get comfortable because they just can all of a sudden go, sorry, the conditions deteriorated, or some other event's going to happen, like you've got price rises in some certain commodities, and then you've got costs going up. So it's just a difficult space, but it's still long term should be pretty good. I mean, food security is definitely one of the better places to probably look at.
Yeah, no, definitely, Wolf. And but you can see like Elders, it should have gone on with it. It hasn't. It's just putting a little bit of negative sentiment on some of these agricultural stocks.
So when you look at this El Nino, Dave, it just gives me a negative vibe, and I'm thinking time to move on somewhere else.
All right, Wolf. Can we talk about DTC, Damstra?
Yep.
Because really poor price action. Obviously, it looks like it's heading lower, possibly down to even as low as 40 cents, the all-time lows of the stock.
Mm-hmm.
Does it deserve that on the announcement?
Yes and no is the answer. I'll give you the yeses and I'll give you the no's. First of all, the yeses, it deserves it, yes, because they just keep coming downgrades, right? So it seems like the management just cannot get their business in order. Whether it's their own fault or whether it's just the market the way it is, with possible issues, COVID and so on. Hard to sort of pinpoint it, but downgrades are never a good thing, right? So maybe they just need to be a bit more conservative in their outlook and guidance and talk and everything else. So put investors at ease that there might be turbulence ahead instead of being too bullish. So it's definitely needs to be punished. I agree with that. On the no side, it's come down to a ridiculous level now. It's still actually growing, right? If you look at the top line, it's still growing. 27 million revenues last time, going up to 30, I think, that today's announcement. Although today was another downgrade, right? They're still going to grow. And they're talking about the troublesome Newmont contract and so on. But now it's trading 30 million market cap, 30 million in revenues. You're looking at market cap of about 80-something odd million. That's less than 3 times now revenue number. So that looks cheap valuation point of view, considering it's still growing. And I'd say this is just growing pains, right? A lot of these companies in the early stages in the tech space potentially could have these growing pains. And unfortunately, this is a severe case of it. So look, I think if they can get out of this will recover. I got no doubt about that because I still see the product themselves are actually very, very good.
All right, but obviously it's not a buy. It's below trend, and it's looking miserable. We just got to wait.
Yeah.
RZI, Wolf?
Yeah, look, RZI is still good. I mean, you look at today's presentation, and you can't really fault it in any way in there, right? They're growing the numbers. They're growing the RPUs. It's just looking pretty decent. The only question you might have is, can they sustain that growth? Because it was, I think, 86% or over 80% across most metrics, Dave, over the last financial year. So the question is, can they sustain that? And where's the growth going to come from next? And I think they set out a path forwards. They're looking at next place is Thailand. They're going to hit that. Then they're looking at Vietnam, and they're also looking at different product releases, right? So potentially that could be the driving force for the next, say, 12, 24 months. So I like it. Maybe there's some shenanigans going on in the background still, Dave, we don't know about, unfortunately. So unfortunately, it's a play by charts. situation. So what do you say?
Still just a hold at the moment. So,
all right.
you know, if you want to buy, yeah, just still a hold. So, but again, it's typical of the market, the way the stock's moving at the moment. It's like, everything's a bit dreary, isn't it? It's all had a bit of a run.
It's almost like sluggish, hard, and it's like, come on, do something. It's like for the impatient, it's terrible.
Yeah, it's like when you've gone on a long run and you've got the last half mile left, and you're running up. You got a stitch. You're running uphill.
It's not a pleasant experience, is it?
Yeah, I only ever did it once, mate. To be honest with you, and that was enough for me. So
yeah, I think you're right. I think I almost want to get over this Christmas period, right? It's and get to the next reporting season, which will be in February. So yeah, it's almost like limping across the lines. Get me there. Get me some drinks because I'm struggling at the moment.
So Wolf, let's have a look at the ASX this week. So it's just pretty down. I think this is what we said at the beginning of the week. It's going to be down to sideways, a little bit drab. So let's have a look at the Einsteins, because obviously the Einsteins are trending stocks, and you're not going to get too much glory if the general market isn't trending. But dare I say, I mean, the buy signals have held up so far quite nicely. Like AVC's up quietly. SDI did have a nice little move. Woolworths, boring. It did have a little bit of move, but it's more or less where it started. Lin is slightly up. I don't know what that is. Pan flat, which is most probably outperforming the market. And WSA, which I think had one of the better buy signals and also a good chart from last week, is down and just looks like it's going back into a sideways pattern again. What I was reasonably happy with, the materials. So the materials have done quite well, better than the rest of the market this week. You see IGO up, LYC going up, a hot stock recently doing very well. EMR slightly in the green.
I'll tell you what, I think the material sector saved the week from being a disaster, really. Without the materials, would probably be red all around. So yeah, thank goodness for that.
Definitely, Wolf. And like NTU, you can see holding up reasonably nicely. These AZY didn't do too well. I think MVL is up 14% today, but really just where it more or less started the week from. SMI had a move before it came down, so KMT slightly up. How volatile this has been, this KMT. It's very hard to hold on to. And again, one of the better buy signals, better material bullish signals was LCD, which hasn't gone on with it. So, but it hasn't broken trend. So as long as they don't break trend, Wolf, you've got to hold them and just be patient with them.
Hold them, not fold them, right?
Yeah, they're not a fold. Saying that, I'm looking at ERW. That's not too far from a fold. But the consumer discretionaries have done very, very well. I mean, IDZ is nearly not far off being a doubler for us. I mean, and this is this Indie Skydive, the Skydive one, which apparently they've got a new game, which is where you can be a fighter pilot.
Well, I think a Formula One driver.
Formula One drivers. Okay, see, close. Close.
It's still like a Daredevil type stuff.
Yeah, still there. And I mean, that chart still looks good, Wolf. But
it is.
And SSG working its way up. I think ENN not looking too bad. SNL had a massive move up, didn't it? That was a big winner. I like this little MYD chart. It hasn't gone on with it, but I still think it could at least go and hit that $1 Wolf. I still think it looks pretty good. AX1, just holding in there. But I think the three best ones in the consumer discretionary, CCX, CKF, I mean, they're still holding in, and Lavisa. I mean, they've all been fairly poor this week, which is strange, isn't it? How the weaker ones have done, some of them done brilliantly, and the better stories have actually have really just, I suppose, just moved with the market, moved with the ASX.
Yeah, I'm going to put this down as one of those weeks that I want to forget about.
Yeah, but and then we've got our staples have done well. This LV1 looks interesting. I mean, that's up. FFI doesn't look too bad. So, we've had pockets of very, very strong success.
Yeah.
So, you know, I suppose even in a horrible, tough market like
exactly, you can still find winners. And I think this is a very, very important point you made there, Dave. Even in a week where I'm saying, you know, I want to forget about it and so on, there's still winners out there that you can definitely trend and make some money off if you're a trader. And I know for the long-term investor, yeah, you get those weeks, you know, maybe a month that it's just not going very well for you. But remember, long-term, you're not going to get a straight line ride anywhere, I don't think. So it's frustrating. Yeah, absolutely. But we got to refocus and say, hey, it's all okay. It's all okay. We've picked the right stories. It's just a matter of being patient.
Yeah, and with the Einsteins, remember, these are weekly trends. So, you know,
Exactly.
you have to, even some of those buy signals will take 3 or 4 weeks.
Yep.
On that note, Wolf, we've got a trade anyway today. I think it's high risk, but we're going to have a stop loss on it to protect us anyway at 145.
Yeah. Just one thing I want to mention, because I didn't see that one because it was marked as not material. So that was OCL's AGM, Dave. Yeah. And slide number 44, outlook, FY22 outlook. Last little line, it says, expect material revenue and profit growth in FY22. I'll take that. Thank you very much, OCL.
Yeah, okay. If you're in that, hold it. And what a great story that is. And tell me, what would you be buying around here now?
Cheeky bids, absolutely. Look, again, you know, long-term view, absolutely you'd be buying, right? Yes, you might have some volatility. You buy it, you might go a bit further. As long as it holds the long-term trends, it's okay.
So good announcement day, OCL. I mean, we've been in this one since down below $8 or whatever, but it's still a buy if you're interested in the story.
Yep, agree.
On that note, Wolf, let's go have a bit of music. I'm feeling Christmassy. We need to.
Come on, give us some Christmas cheer.
What? We need to.
And don't forget to join us for the Ask Analyst.
Live.
At 12.
12 o'clock.
Thanks, or 11 in Brisbane.
All right, that's it.